This is Talking Hardcore, the podcast for people who love hardcore history.
You study history because it allows us to understand the present and prepare for the future.
Yeah, it's like Shakespeare or Greek tragedy.
Could you imagine what was in the Library of Alexandria?
I bet it was porn.
I'm not even wearing pants right now, Scott.
What's the old Clint Eastwood line? A man's got to know his limitations. I know my limitations.
The Talking Hardcore podcast is presented by Ace Industrial Solutions. Are you in need of skilled trade professionals for your next project? Look no further.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Talking Hardcore History Trivia. This episode, we're talking about the episode Prophets of Doom, which is one of the Dan Carlin's original episodes that are on the old episodes available for sale on his website. And it's about if you haven't listened, pause this, click on the link in the description, go listen to the old episode.
About Lutheranism.
It's really about a crazy cult that takes over a city in Germany in the 1500s. And it's pretty crazy.
Straight up, David Koresh.
Yeah, so here we go. We've got 10 questions about that episode, more specifically about that time period in Germany and about the people and actions going on at that time. And we already recorded one episode of trivia about this, but the audio messed up, so I made new questions and we're doing it again. That's why I said it's take two. Joining us today is Matt Bella, author and frequent contributor to the podcast, and my co-host here, Scott.
That's me.
Yep, and we would like again to say thanks to our presenting sponsor here, Ace Industrial Solutions. Ace is a great dude. You guys should check out his website.
You talk to him.
I talked to that asshole the other day.
Oh, thanks.
Okay.
I don't think he'd like you calling him an
No, Ace is cool with it. He's kind of a masochist.
Aren't we all?
He likes to get whipped and shit. I don't know. It's weird.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
guys.
What are you, some kind of machinist?
All right. Here we go. Standard format, everybody. 10 questions. Each question's worth a point. And no, I guess that's it. I'm mumbling. Okay. Question 1. What year did Martin Luther publish his 95 Thesis?
Jesus. We're going to get sued.
For what?
Stealing the Jeopardy theme
Yeah,
song.
for what? What are they going to get? This is kind of dope, though. Careful listeners will notice that I at least gave him the correct century here a few minutes ago in the introduction.
Did you?
I did.
I don't know.
Okay, Matt, are you ready?
Sure.
Sounds despondent. All right,
Yeah.
Scott, are you ready?
No. I'm completely wrong. I already know this.
Okay, show your answer, Scott.
did.
It's 1595.
What is your answer there, Matt?
1514.
Close, Matt. It was 1517.
Damn.
Okay.
Okay, that one
So
could have been a multiple choice, but I figured since when we did the first take, I gave you that question as a multiple choice. I figured, well, maybe you guys would remember the answer, and apparently, no, you don't.
don't feel bad, Matt. It's
Don't
okay.
feel bad. I wouldn't have remembered that. All right. Question 2. The ejection of the Lutherans and the Catholics from the city of Munster caused what action by the Prince Bishop the following day? Again, question 2. The ejection of the Lutherans and Catholics from the city of Munster caused what action by the Prince Bishop the following day?
Matt, you ready?
Sure.
Matt, you ready?
Yeah.
I don't like this Matt. I like Happy Matt.
I don't. Yeah.
I just like to give a very quick disclaimer that like I'm not.
Hey, not
in
everybody's
the best
always
of form
operating
today.
Maybe this could be
The-
your
the-
Jordan flu game here, buddy. Let's go.
I think this might be this time Scott beats me. So yeah, let's go.
No, I think
Okay.
he laid siege to the city.
That is correct. Matt, what was your answer?
Siege.
Oh, 1-1.
All right.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
Look, I didn't get skunked.
All right. Question 3. This Dutch preacher was the initial leader of the Anabaptists during the siege. This Dutch leader was the original leader of the Anabaptists during the siege. Jan.
Yeah, I know that one.
Just thought if I got you started, you might.
I think this is wrong.
It is wrong.
Well, there's so many.
There's 2.
A question in this trivia should be: how many people in this story have the same first name?
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
shit.
It's not as bad
There's like
as
5 or 6.
It's not as bad as Punic Wars, where all of
Everybody is
them
named
are
like
Hannibal,
or those
yeah,
guys.
Hannibal,
Hamilcar,
or
Asdrubal,
or what's the Roman general? The
Scipio.
Scipio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
So
going to say Bill just for fun.
Bill would have been great. All right, guys. Okay. I'm going to read the question one more time. This Dutch preacher was the initial leader of the Anabaptists during the siege.
Hold on. Okay.
Talk it through if you
It's
need more
wrong.
time.
No, it's. I mean, okay, but I know this is wrong. I know it is.
Well, then write something else.
I don't remember.
Okay, that's fair.
Hold on,
If you
hold
don't
on.
remember, you don't remember.
I'm gonna screw this. I'm gonna screw up a spelling.
Remember, spelling is stupid. And okay, I forgot to say that this episode. Spelling does not matter. I'm not checking for spelling. Get it so that I understand what you're saying a little bit, and it's close enough. All right, Matt, what's your answer?
Jan Mattis.
Yep.
Damn.
What did you say, Scott?
You don't want to know.
Say it.
Jan Nickelbaum. What the hell is the guy's name?
You're crossing the streams again.
I know. I do that.
All right, Matt is in the lead,
Hey,
2-1.
We have to let the listeners know. Last time I
Take one.
take one. I really I mixed up some names pretty bad.
We both did.
Yep. All right. Question 4. Upon learning that a prominent tradesman was questioning his leadership, Jan Matthias has the man tied up, dragged to the town square, and demands that he be killed. What was his trade? Upon learning that a prominent tradesman was questioning his leadership, Jan Matthias has the man tied up, dragged to the town square, and demands that he be killed.
He
What
was the owner
his
of
trade?
He was the owner of a local Starbucks, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
accurate. Local Starbucks.
He was a
Matt,
barista.
Matt is on fire tonight.
Damn baristas, always messing everything up.
Yeah. All right, you guys have your answers?
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be a small S.
It doesn't matter. Okay, Matt, what was your answer? Scott, show yours.
Blacksmith.
Blacksmith.
Oh, bingo.
Damn, I'm doing better this round than the last one.
Yeah, that's true. You are. I think you already tied what you had there.
Damn.
I'm a little slow with the sound effects. Sorry, guys. All right. Question 5. A local goldsmith claimed to have a vision that this person should be made king of Munster. Again, question 5. A local goldsmith claimed to have a vision that this person should be made king of Munster.
I think I got this one right. I see Matt Googling.
Yeah. I'm digging the sound effects.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't remember. Believe I can't
what's up,
remember.
Matt?
We just did this. I can't believe I can't remember these people's names because we just did this episode and it's driving me crazy.
It's like 2 weeks ago.
I know. All right.
You ready, Matt?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it here. I think it's
Okay.
right.
All right,
I
show
think
your
I
answer,
think
gentlemen.
I think I'm all right. Is it John Lyman? Jan Wyman.
That's close enough.
I
Spelling
said Jan
stupid.
Van Leyden.
John Van Leyden.
Yeah, John Van Leyden. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
close
remember
enough.
you know how I remember that? It's because Dan taught just a visual description where he gives, where he's like, the first guy looked like the cover of a Led Zeppelin album, and the second guy
Right.
looked like Matthew McConaughey.
Exactly.
And I remember the King stuff
Exactly.
happened.
Okay,
I remember
so
the King, the King stuff happened in the latter portion of
well,
it.
yeah, and if you
so-
remember, like that goldsmith has this vision, okay, and goes to the town and says he's going to be the king, and like an old school King Solomon king, and he makes him a scepter and a crown out of the gold that they seized from everybody because it's a cult, so you got to give them all your shit,
right?
Like it's pretty convenient. Okay, so
and one thing,
scoreboard
just
update.
really quickly, go
ahead, man.
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Another thing that stood out to me in this episode, and I'm looking forward to discussing Martin Luther in this context, like whenever we get there,
yeah.
but was kind of the communist nature of the Anabaptists, where they were, anti-property and all that kind of stuff. So it was very interesting.
They were, and then
Until some
then they
wackos
really
got in
weren't.
charge, and David caressed the whole business up.
Well, they weren't really communist until the cult leader guy took over in the first place, right? And then it was still like, yeah, we're communists, but the people in charge were taking all the stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good point.
That's what happens.
Pretty typical, right? Okay. Questions? Yeah, go ahead.
No,
Fire away.
I'm going to put it at the end of the episode.
Okay. Question 6.
Thought you were going to do a score update.
I did. Oh, you're right. Okay, scoring update. Thank you, Scott. Keep me honest. Matt is in the lead with 4.
Dude.
Scott, right on his heels with 3. This is the best game we've had for a while. Like, this is close.
Yeah, tense.
You wrote better questions.
That helps. Well, you get a dry run, right? When you get a dry run, it helps. All right. Question 6. Near the end of the siege, Bernard Rothman wrote 2 pamphlets making the Anabaptist case, going so far as to send those pamphlets to Martin Luther. Name one. Near the end of the siege, Bernard Rothman wrote 2 pamphlets making the Anabaptist case, going so far as to send them to Martin Luther. Name one. I can't tell if it froze or Matt's just despondent.
I think he's thinking.
Okay, it's not.
He's breathing.
He breathed. Okay, good. I like when he patronizes us with those laughs.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
No, I'm seriously. This was a question in the last the last time we tried
In
to do
take
this,
one?
and I can't.
I changed it
Yeah.
up a little bit, the wording, but I was kind of thinking like it was a
Yeah.
hard question for take 1. But since we're redoing it 3 weeks later, you guys might have retained some of it.
I think I remembered this one. I could be wrong. I might be. We'll know in like 2 seconds.
Yeah,
I'll give you a hint.
Let's go.
No, I won't give a hint because Scott already has an answer written down. You ready, Matt?
All right. Yeah.
Okay, Matt, what is your guess?
It starts with an R.
That is correct. It does start with an R.
Revenge?
And while I think spelling is stupid, I'm not going to give you for getting the first letter. It
I
is
was gonna say
revenge.
revenge. I was gonna say revenge.
Scott ties it up.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
Through 6 now, we have a heated pitched battle. I like it.
Damn.
All right, question 7.
It's going to be a date.
Of the 2 Jans and 2 Bernards, whose body was never recovered?
Oh, man.
Again, of the 2 Jans that were prominent in this story and the 2 Bernards that were also prominent in this story, one of them, their bodies was never recovered. Whose was it?
Well, wait a minute. No.
I can't believe I didn't get that revenge one is gonna kill me because I literally saw that word in my mind and I was gonna write it down, but I was like, no, that's wrong.
Wait a minute.
It's gonna kill me.
And you can't just write Bernard or Jan.
Well, that's 50-50 then.
Yeah, you can't just do that.
Now, wait a minute. I know which guy it is. Wait a minute. I know the story of why his body wasn't recovered.
Sure.
I just don't remember
His name.
his last name. Or his name.
Well, that's
What do you
that's literally the question, Scott.
Excellent point.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Excellent
I
point.
like it, Matt.
Yeah.
Always keep me on my toes, buddy.
Keeping you honest. All right, Matt, you ready? You got an answer written down?
Yeah.
All right, Scott, show your answer. Matt, show your answer.
Bernard Knipperdoling.
What do you
Hoffman.
got, Matt? You got who?
Hoffman.
Bernard
Hoffman.
Rothman? That's correct. It is
Rothman,
Bernard
yeah.
Rothman.
Yeah.
Shit. Bernard, whatever. He got cut up by a bunch of soldiers.
No, that one, the one whose body was never found, they don't know what happened to him. Many people think that he probably got killed at the end of the siege when they took the town, but they never found his body.
Like the one that was all cut up.
Matthias.
Oh, Jan Matthias.
They-
God, there's too many.
He charged the Prince
cavalry.
Bishop's men
Yeah.
with 12 dudes
And they
because
murdered.
God was telling him it was time to go and fight these
Well,
guys.
it's time to go, all right.
Yep.
Just go into the dirt.
Can you just can we just stop right here really quick? That is how
Sure.
I want to go out. I
Really?
want to be at a party with a bunch of people who are scared because there's an army outside. We're all swilling back cider or whatever. At a certain point, I just stand up and I'm like, guys, peace
I got
out.
this.
And I just like get on a horse and just like boom. But after that point, it doesn't even matter if you're killed. It's just such a baller like exit.
I feel like
that's yeah.
we have different life goals.
I think it'd be quick. Too. Like if it was
Uh-uh.
like 50 on one, it'd be super quick.
Maybe, but it's also like they could take their time because it's not like you're going to hurt them.
Nah, I don't think they'll take.
No,
their
I
time.
disagree. We have different life goals.
Nah, as soon as the first stab's gone, it's
There's a
over.
lot cooler ways to die.
It's kind of like when you see. Never mind.
No, that's not how I would pick. Okay. Question 8.
There's nothing wrong with a blaze of glory. Anyway.
Yeah, but that to me, I can think of a better blaze of glory moment than that. Hacked to death with swords seems not cool. Like think of the
You remember
Sonny
Bernard
getting, but think of Son. No, it was Jan, you asshole.
Whatever.
You don't even remember that. Okay, who instigated the practice of polygamy in the city during the siege of Munster? Question 8. Who instigated the practice of polygamy in the city during the siege of Munster? As often happens in a cult, the leader
You're gonna make me write this name again.
suggests or institutes a policy that he gets to bang the other people's wives. And this happened in the 1500s in the city of Munster. And who brainstormed or who instigated that policy?
I think this is wrong again.
Well, we'll see.
You only have one of 4 choices.
Yeah, I mean, mostly.
Yeah.
You ready, Matt? I think we need to give
no.
Matt a cool nickname for the podcast. You know, like in Parks and Rec, they got Crazy Ira and the Douche.
Yeah.
No,
So then I'm crazy Ira.
no,
you're
we're
the
gonna
douche?
no, we're gonna come up with cool nicknames. You're definitely the douche.
No. I'd have to. You're crazy? Nope.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm less douchey,
Yeah, but you're not crazy.
but I'm less douchey.
You're more douchey than than crazy.
Anyway, Matt, you ready?
That's like you guys suck.
God,
Crazy Ira and the douche. Like,
no.
where do you? I don't even remember this.
You don't remember that from Parks and Rec?
No, I remember,
Crazy Ira and the Douche.
but I wouldn't have pulled that out.
Well, obscure, stupid references are how my brain works.
Okay, donut.
It's just life.
Everybody's gonna get lost with all these references, donut.
All right, it just came to Matt. I think we gave him enough time. He got it.
Why are you shaking your head?
I don't know.
Oh.
It's a good book. It's a good series.
I like it.
How far are you into the Bedlam Bride?
I just started it.
Oh yeah.
Scott made me start reading a series of books that is good, and I regret it because I'm an asshole when I read a series of books.
No, shout out to Matt Dinman.
Matt Dinneman. The Dungeon Crawler Carl series is great.
Fantastic.
The problem is
It's too
I'm
great.
not good at being in the middle of a plot.
Sure you are.
No, I'm not.
Well, just get through it once, and then it's just you're just rinse and repeat.
All right. You ready, Matt?
Sure.
Okay. All right, Matt. Show your answer.
I mean, I think this is. I know I'm wrong. I just wrote John Mattis again, but I know
Okay,
that's
who do you got there, Scott?
I got Bernard Nipperdalling.
Okay, you both got it wrong. It's Jan van Leyden.
Damn it.
I thought that was the
That's what I was
layup.
gonna say. That's what I was gonna say. Darn it! Yeah, Bernard Nipperdalling was the. I don't want to give an answer away that might be coming up, but
No,
he
there's
was
not.
a
He
city
was the
council
publisher.
member.
He was the publisher. But Rothman was the preacher that started, and then it was Matthias and Van
Yeah,
Leyden.
yeah.
Those were the two
All right,
guys
all
that
right.
ended up running shit into the ground.
Damn Jans.
Final
Yeah,
question.
the Jans
If we
really
had done
did
a
screw
tie,
everything up. Okay, so through 8 questions,
John.
the score is Matt 5, Scott 4.
Woof.
This is anybody's game.
I'm going to come back.
Scott's only 1 question down. That's the closest he's been this late in the game in a long time.
That's true.
A long time. So I like it. I like a heated battle. I think it's good if you catch Matt on an off day.
Jan, Bernard.
Yep.
Jan, Bernard.
Okay.
Jan.
These items still hang from the spire of the only church tower that was not destroyed during the siege of Munster. Question 9. Again, question 9. These items still hang from the spire of the only church tower that was not destroyed during the siege of Munster.
I hope this is right.
It better be right.
Okay. It's right.
Okay, so we'll give some background about this one
Sure.
afterwards,
Okay.
after Matt writes his answer down. You ready, Matt?
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Okay. All right. Everybody show your answers.
I got cages.
Scott says cages. Matt
Cages.
says cages.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
here's a tie.
Question. Okay, so the story behind that is when the siege of Munster ended with the Prince Bishop's forces retaking the city, Jan van Leyden and a few of the other prominent rulers of this Anabaptist cult that took over the city were captured, and they were prominently tortured and killed and then hung in these cages. Their bodies were hung in these cages outside the city tower, the church tower, that was the only one that wasn't tore down. And it was a reminder of, hey, don't let these idiots do this again.
And don't go against the Prince Bishop.
Yeah, and maybe don't be crazy.
And maybe don't be crazy.
All right. So the score again is now 6-5. So Scott needs to get this right, and Matt needs to get this wrong to force a tiebreaker.
Do you have a tiebreaker question?
Yeah,
Okay.
in my head.
Yeah. He's just going to make it up.
No, yeah, I got something. So question 10. Through the course of this episode, Dan compares the events he is describing in this story to the events that happened in the 1990s in which American town? Again, question 10. Through the course of this episode, Dan compares the events he is describing here to the events that happened in the 1990s in which American town?
He's not going to get this wrong.
I would be shocked.
Nobody. It would be
I feel
impossible
shocked.
for someone to get this wrong.
What'd you say, Matt?
It would be impossible for anyone to get this wrong.
Oh, well, no, people could get this wrong.
But I also
But I would be shocked if you guys got this
I
wrong.
also made the reference.
Right. So go ahead and show your answers.
Waco, Texas.
Waco.
Okay. They both got this right. And that means everybody, our winner today. Wait, hold on. I got to get the sound effects going here. The winner today
Again.
is
It's
Matt Bella.
Wow.
Oh my God, way too loud.
Thank you, folks.
Yeah. I'm letting the sound effects machine go to my head.
I know.
It's pretty fun. All right.
It does a lot of
guys.
work for the
That's,
host.
that's money well spent by Ace, by the way.
Yeah. Ace is coming through in the clutch. You can't deny it.
What was the tiebreaker just for fun?
I didn't write one.
What was the question you had in your head?
I don't know.
Do you know what I would ask?
I would have won it. So go ahead. Tell
Okay.
me what you would have asked.
What hallucinogen is attributed to this whole atrocity?
You're
No.
crossing the streams.
Am I?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I thought.
Nope.
No?
Nope.
You sure?
Yes.
Matt?
No,
You
there's
know-
that one. Saint somebody's fire, right?
No.
or,
he's
or,
talking
or
about
gut
this-
poisoning.
Ergot.
Or
yeah.
gut. Or gut
And it
poison.
was mentioned as
You know what? Another
that's
one.
happened on
know,
other times, and maybe
You know
that
what?
happened to
You know what? Yeah, another good one would have been is that when the young chick had that idea inspired by the Bible to go out there and give the poison shirt to the Prince
Uh-huh.
Bishop, what biblical story inspired her, and it was like Judith and Holospines or something like that. That would have been a cool one.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't believe I won. I'm very tired.
Ergot. But sorry for my tardiness. It couldn't be helped today.
No problem, man.
It's cool. There's no time.
Hey, good
frame.
game,
We're
Scott.
having fun.
Sure it was. Now,
And Matt, you gave Matt and I a chance to get some other work done, so it worked out well.
Yep.
something I wanted to bring up. I don't know if you want to put this in the episode or not, but I just watched a 4-part series on Amazon about George Washington.
Oh, cool.
That seems really relevant to Prophets of Doom.
It depends. If you look at Jan van Leyden and Jan Matthias as revolutionaries.
They're cult leaders.
Yeah, sure.
There's a difference. Some cult leaders are revolutionaries, but not all revolutionaries are cult leaders.
I got you.
I don't think there's an argument to be made. Go ahead, Matt.
I'll join this with a theme because I think straight up, let me come down on the side hard of the hard position that they were cult leaders, but there is a theme here that I enjoyed. It was that when people, there is the revolutionary spirit dies when you take power, overthrow those people, and then start acting like the people you overthrew. So there's kind of a kind of common theme there, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that was expressed in this episode.
Absolutely, Matt. That's a great point.
One thing
except for George Washington didn't, because he didn't, overthrow a king from the colony, and then
that's what you were going to say.
Well, what I was going to say
instituted
is
democracy.
They told King George that George Washington had won, and then disbanded the army after the revolution. And King George said something along the lines of, if he did that, he would be the greatest man that had ever lived.
I think it was later on when he was relinquishing the presidency. No?
I just watched the documentary. That's why.
Well, I mean, if it's on Amazon, it must be right.
Well, it had a whole bunch of
I'm sure that's
historians.
True. I'm sure that's right. No, I'm sure you're right. But I'd always...
Such a condescending dick.
No, I really wasn't being condescending there. No, I was saying I'm sure you're right. If that's what they said, if that's the timing of it, I'm sure that's right.
Yeah.
In my head, I always imagined that was when he stepped down, when he really could have been king. And he stepped down and didn't keep himself ruler for life in the U.S.
Yeah, he didn't want that.
Right, but he could have.
He didn't even want to be president.
Yeah, exactly.
But he did it for 2 terms.
Yeah.
And he got 2.5 years of retirement, and then he died of like a bacterial throat infection.
Dude, retirement kills a lot of people.
2.5 years.
Got to keep working.
Yeah, listen. What'd you say?
Got to keep busy. Get a hobby. He should have taken up gardening or something.
Yeah, if he was fishing, he wouldn't have died.
Yeah.
The problem
this is a great game. I don't think.
Go ahead, Matt.
I don't think I got an addendum in me tonight, but I'm looking forward to talking about this actual episode.
Me neither.
Cool,
no, I was thinking the same thing. So, but if you guys haven't heard the episode that we're talked about here, please check the link in the description. Go get it. This was absolutely one of my favorite standalone Hardcore History episodes. That's not a series. It's this and History Under the Influence are probably my 2 favorites, right? Like, this episode is a crazy story. And if you're going to listen to this episode, go check out the Rest is History series on Martin Luther as well. It really does fill in all the blanks that is left by the historical context needed for this episode. It's great. That episode on Luther really, I learned a lot that I didn't know about that time frame, and man, sometimes history does rhyme. It's very fascinating.
It is.
Very fascinating. All right, Matt, thanks again for joining us. Really
My
appreciate
pleasure.
it, buddy. It's always fun having
game,
you on.
Scott.
And that was the closest
thanks.
battle we've had in a long time. Maybe Scott will sneak in with the W soon. He's catching up.
I think, what am I at?
Cool.
1 for like 8?
I don't know, something like that.
It's okay. I don't need to win.
But you haven't got skunked, so it's okay.
Almost.
Almost.
All right, Matt. Yeah,
All right.
good one, bud.
Talk to you
Have a
later.
good night.
Right on.